Well, I hope that you can hear me over the air conditioning. It's boiling hot. I mean, up here in Canada, you're always thinking like, it's so cold. It's like the Arctic in there. It's not like the Arctic. We actually have some of the hottest summers ever. But, so anyway, you don't really care about the temperature. You just came here to watch me review Underpants Book 6. It's been quite a while since but I like to say we, so I can be inclusive to all my subscribers out there, all 116 of you. Okay, thank you very much for getting me to 116 subscribers, by the way. Like I said, whenever I get another subscriber, it feels pretty good. But, it's been a while since we reviewed a book from the original series. But, I actually filmed this video once already. It's just I thought that I sounded a little bit too boring the first time that I did, so I decided to refilm it. So, anyway. Let's start the It never cuts one okay, fine, let's start the review. So, Captain Underpants and the Big Bad Battle of the Bionic Booger Boy. Of course, we start off with a nice little comic that fills you in on what happened in the first 5 books. And then, surprise, surprise, we start off with an introduction that introduces us to the 2 main characters named George Beard and Harold Touchkin. Sorry, I can't exactly... it's hard for me to hold the book, you know? And also, this is a brand new book, so it's not like a book where you can, like, place it down and it'll just stay there. It's gonna just close on itself. But anyway, they walk... I don't see why I always call it a beautiful sign. I mean, it kind of looks kind of basic, you know? No offense, Dave Toki. I know that you put a lot of effort into drawing these books, but, you know, just... But anyway, they switch the letters around and make it sound disgusting, and this book starts off with talking about how George and Harold are smart when it comes to saving the world, because, you know, what happened in the past 5 books. But they're saying how Melvin's so smart, and then it shows that he actually falled for George and Harold's prank and actually did wash his hands in the toilet. I guess that's supposed to be funny, though, isn't it? So anyway, it's the how to do something day in class, and George and Harold show the little ketchup pack with the under the toilet seat thing. I'm sure that you guys all heard of it. This book was released in 2003, and I don't know, I was only 1 year old back then, but pretty much everyone, like everyone, started doing that prank in their school if it was allowed immediately after that book came out. So yeah. Oh, and by the way, that's a Doctor Who First Doctor source book, in case if you didn't know. I also review Doctor Who on this channel. I don't know, just in case if you want to know. But anyway, so Miss Ribble is all about fun now because of what happened in Book 5. So it's nice that George and Harold at least have one fun teacher. And I guess Mr. Fide was pretty cool too, but now he's fired, so I guess they need a nice teacher to replace him. But anyway, Melvin Sneely won't let them out to do the prank until he shows him his invention, and then he shows a bionic hamster, which is already impressive enough, and then reveals that he took the fake ice cream cone off of Dairy Queen and turned it into a combinatron, and also bought a hamster for some reason, and he shall combine the hamster with the robot using the Dairy Queen ice cone. Ice cone. Why did I say ice cone? Ice cream cone. I'm not calling it the Combinatron 2000. I'm calling it the Dairy Queen ice cream cone. Nothing you can do about it, really. And to all those parents out there who are reading these books to their kids before bedtime, please be prepared, because you're going to have to literally just read out, "Finally, a computerized voice started the countdown, combining 2 elements in 5 seconds, combining 2 elements in 4 seconds, combining 2 elements in 3, and then 2, and then 1. I mean, like, yeah, it's kind of fun when you're a kid and you're just talking in a robotic voice, and it also teaches kids how to count down from 5, I guess, but if they know how to read, then they should know how to count down from 5. But, anyway, so the Dairy Queen ice cream cone doesn't exactly do all that much. Well, like, it obviously does something, as that Sulu is somehow managed to fly and stuff like that. But, like, honestly, like, did the robot just go inside the hamster? Like, what happened to the hamster? Because I can only imagine that the Dairy Queen ice cream cone just ripped apart the hamster and put its skin over the robot. Because where would the hamster's bones be? Well, I guess they would be combined in with the robot. But also, like, think about it. Imagine if the Dairy Queen ice cream cone actually just destroyed the hamster's insides. poor hamster. Like, is the hamster dead? What happened to its soul? Okay, I don't know. But anyway, then we have another flip-o-rama, which is basically just the hamster beating up Melvin because Melvin was mean to it. But anyway, Melvin does something pretty bad to George and Harold, and if you want to know what it is, then you know what I'm gonna say. Buy the book. But anyway, so George and Harold decide to get revenge on Melvin by writing a comic book, Captain Underpants and the Terrifying Tale of the Tattletron 2000, which is actually a pretty fun book. Look at this. Man jail, lady jail, kid jail, baby jail, dog jail, cat jail, frog jail. I don't think that's legal to arrest kids and babies and dogs and cats and frogs. Like, what could a frog even do? But anyway, we learn that Melvin's parents are actually pretty bad parents, as Melvin's saying how he's going to take over the world and everything, and they just don't really listen. Not that they don't care, they just literally don't listen. Like, it's kind of obvious when you're reading the paragraph that he obviously just didn't listen. But anyway, he's catching the flu for some reason because it becomes a plot point, and then he's thinking about how he's going to combine himself with a robot. And then, randomly, he sneezes, and then the combinatron combines the boogers. But there are so many different errors that I can point out with this book. Okay, first off, so if his mucus... Okay, why does his mucus count as a separate element, first of all, if his clothes don't count as a separate element? One, technically, his glasses count as a fourth element, and his shirt as a fifth, and shoes and stuff like that, and all the different separate parts of the robot count of different elements. Also, the mucus was in Melvin the whole time. Why did it have to be outside of his body for the Dairy Queen ice cream cone to sense it? And also, like, why did it go combining 2 elements in 5, 4, 3, 2, and then go combining 3 elements in 1 second? Technically, the sudden introduction of a new element should logically either cause the Dairy Queen ice cream cone to either shut down or restart at 5 seconds. Like, what the heck? But anyway, it turns Melvin into this monstrosity, which actually works for him because he wins at every kickball and soccer game because no one will touch the ball after he did. And also, he gets his own personal water fountain because no one's drinking out of the public water fountain because Melvin drinks from it and there's mucus everywhere all over it. Although this is really going to suck when he gets to high school. I mean, like, how is he going to get a girlfriend like this? I don't know. Well, they say there's someone for everyone, but honestly, like, there's something I don't quite understand. How come Melvin gets the flu during flu season if he's basically, technically, just 1/3 a giant Booger monster? Shouldn't he technically be immune to flus then? I mean, I don't know. That's my logic. I guess there are a million different ways that you can think of what would happen if a Booger got a cold or whatever. Okay, I know that I'm sounding gross, but, like, it's Captain Underpants. It literally says Captain Underpants right there on the cover. Not that I'm saying that you shouldn't judge a book by its cover or title. I literally just made a video a couple weeks ago on why you should give Captain Underpants a chance, but, it's just, you know, it's gross, but you should still read the book. Okay, I just screwed up there. So anyway, then I guess Dave Pilkey put the book down and stopped writing it for a little bit, and it was 2003, which is the year that the first Hulk movie came out. If any of you guys watch my second channel, you will know that me, my dad, and stepmom are on a superhero marathon, so you're probably wondering... Because I haven't seen any superhero movies, so you're probably wondering, how do you know that if you had never... just because I haven't seen any superhero movies doesn't mean that I don't know a lot about them. And also, as soon as we started it, I just started doing all sorts of research. Okay, anyway, so just wanted to clear that up so that I don't have people in the comments saying blah 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 blah. But anyway, so I guess then he decided to watch Hulk for some reason, and then Dave Pilkey picked up the book and then continued writing it, because there are a million Hulk references in this chapter. First off, Melvin's grammar has gone weird for some reason, and he says, me no like tissues. Like, why doesn't he like tissues again? Like I said, I haven't really seen many superhero movies. All that I've seen so far is Superman 1, 2, and 3. Don't worry, my review of it will be uploaded on my second channel soon enough. But, like, was it something with Hulk that he didn't like tissues, or he didn't like a certain object? But anyway, so this guy is completely stupid, and is just tossing a gazillion tissues at Melvin, expecting him to calm down. And he literally doesn't realize that every time that he does it, he just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Like seriously, like what the? Okay, and just read the book and you'll realize how stupid he is. But anyway, George and Harold, for the second time since the 4th book, willingly turn Mr. Crump into Captain Underpants so that they can save the world, of course. Sorry, I just want to point out that chapter is called You Can't Have Your Cape and Ed 2, because there's a moment where Captain Underpants has to choose between his cape and saving one of the teachers, Anthrope. It's based on the phrase, you can't have your cake and eat it, too. And I know that, like, people like grade A, under A don't understand that phrase. Let me see if I can explain it to you. If you have a cake, then, like, technically if it's a big enough cake, you can have it and eat it, too. But basically, the phrase is saying how you basically have 2 choices. Eat your cake, or have it in the fridge forever and know that you have it and you can eat it whenever you want. But you can't choose both. If you decide to have the cake in the fridge, then you can't eat it, because once you eat it, you won't have your cake anymore. But if you choose to eat it, then you can't have your cake either, because then it's eaten and the cake isn't there anymore. Sorry, I tried to explain it the best I could. I don't know, maybe someone else could explain it. But then we have a pretty cool thing. When Miss Anthrope falls in love with Captain Underpants for some reason, which makes no sense because it's not referenced in any of the other future books. But it is actually pretty cool, and we never actually came to this problem before in any previous Captain Underpants books, where Captain Underpants turns into Mr. Crump, because the lipstick on Miss Anthrope all over his lips somehow has the same effect as water, because I guess it's somehow liquid or something, I don't know. But George and Harold try to snap their fingers to turn him back into Captain Underpants, but when he turns back into Captain Underpants, he instantly becomes Mr. Crump again because of the lipstick. This actually was never thought of before, and now it's actually pretty scary. Captain Underpants' one weakness, even though he doesn't even know about it. If you spray him with a hose, then no one can turn him back into Captain Underpants by snapping their fingers, because every time he turns back into Captain Underpants, he'll instantly become Mr. Crump the next time that another drop of water touches him, which will pretty much be instantaneously. So anyway, we have a moment where George and Harold looks like they're going to die, and then Sulu saves them. Oh, did I not mention that George and Harold adopted the bionic hamster? Sorry, kind of big point I left out, sorry. So anyway, we once again have another Fliporama where Sulu beats the heck out of the bionic Booger Boy. But, oh, Booger Boy ate Mr. Crump, by the way. I think a picture of that was in the footage somewhere. But anyway, so George and Harold suggest flipping the batteries around will have the reverse effect and separate the bionic Booger Boy from the robot and Melvin too. And again, I can point out so many things wrong with this scene, because first of all, flipping the batteries around make no sense, and then we have a classic like the whole like, oh, it'll never work from these guys, and then when it works, they're just like, oh, I told you so, I told you, you said that wouldn't work. But anyway, so first off, technically, the Dairy Queen ice cream cone, to separate items, would have to separately zap each separate item with beams. Okay, first off, it needs 3 beams, because there were 3 objects. So 2 beams logically shouldn't really do anything. It should just separate 1 from the other 2 items, but the other 2 still being combined. But also, like, it's just randomly zapping these chunks of boogers. If anything, it should just chop this mountain of booger section in half. So why does it just take effect on the entire thing? But anyway, so, it works. Mr. Crump is still alive, I have no idea how. And then you can have a pretty cool page, which is pretty much just another activity book where the child can pretty much fit in where everyone's body parts are. Melvin's legs are right there, one of Mr. Crump's legs is right there, the other leg is right there, Mr. Crump's hand is right there, the other one is on Melvin's nose, Melvin's hands are right here, Don't want to spoil the whole thing for you. But anyway, the father comes to the conclusion that zapping them again should fix it, which makes no sense. If Dave Pilkey really wanted to keep the comedic scene up, he should have had George and Harold suggest that, and the same, oh, never work, oh, I said it would work, blah, 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 that thing. But anyway, it works, and then, even though it doesn't make sense to George and Harold, which doesn't really make sense, George and Harold are kind of a genius at this stuff. How come they didn't notice that obviously their brains were switched, or bodies were switched, whatever? I don't know. The combinaton obviously just put their brains in the wrong body, or the And then the 3 chunks of Boogers that were blown off when the Separatitron, or Dairy Queen ice cream cone, separated them. And they come to life for some reason. Like, Dave Pilkey, seriously, explain your way out of that one. But anyway, we actually have the very first time where the book actually ends on a cliffhanger. And this goes on till book 11, and book 12 technically, although it doesn't end in a cliffhanger, it just ends in a happy ending. That, normally, for book 1 to 2, the books just ended with Mr. Crump turning into Captain Underpants and jumping out the window and running off to save the world again. And then in book 3, 4, and 5, when Captain Underpants gained the flight ability, it ended with him flying out the window, and George and Harold would hold on to his cape. But now, from now on, we're actually just going to keep on ending on a cliffhanger that leads directly into the next book. Please, while you're reading books 6 to 11, keep track of how much sleep George and Harold get. But anyway, it'll come important later, just trust me. But we still have the classic, oh no, here we go again. And they said how George always says, oh no, and Harold says, here we go again, but I think they did mix it up sometimes. But anyway, that's the end of the book. See you next time for... And I think I should say my opinion on this book. I realize that pretty much what I just do in this entire time is try to be comedic and sometimes succeed and end up just spoiling the entire book and just leaving you at that. I should at least say what I think of the book. This book was pretty entertaining. Of course, it's part 1 of 2, although technically it's part 1 of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So technically it's part 1 of 7 books. Although technically it is part 1 of 2, because the rest of the books don't really have to do with the bionic Booger Boy. I'd say books 6 and 7 are a 2-parter. Book 8 is technically a 1-parter, because it doesn't really have much to do with the other ones. Book 9 and 10, I'd say, are a 2-parter, and book 11 and 12 are a 2-parter, I'd say. But, anyway, yeah. Too bad that we didn't get any 3-parters yet. Book 13 might come out, who knows. But, anyway. Yeah, this book was very entertaining, just like all the Captain Underpants books are, but, yeah, I'd say that this is one of the lesser, most exciting ones. Mainly because the future books are way more exciting. I'd say that my favorite book is probably book 10, because it has the most time travel in it. Oh yeah, next book we're going to get on to time travel, so you can look forward to that, or you could just buy the book, but watch my video too. But anyway, yeah, thank you all so much for watching this book that contains squishy action, smooshy horror, and goofy laughs, and I will see you next time where I review the next book. Land on it! Yes. Oh, I still have the receipt in this one too. Okay, anyway, Captain Underpants and the Big Bad Battle of the Bionic Booger Boy Part 2. The Revenge of the Ridiculous Robo Boogers. I will see you there. Goodbye, like, comment, and subscribe. And then, I guess Dave Pilkey put the book down and stopped writing it for a little bit, and then just watched the Phase 1 of Marvel. No. Wait. Okay.